Hi everyone! Today we're going to draw this adorable winter bunny wrapped in a cozy blanket and holding a mug. I'll be using my oil pastel brushes set and canvas number 2 from the same collection. To get started, make sure to download the sketch and palette. They're free. You can find the link in the description below. First, let's open the Layers panel. Place the sketch above the layer where we'll be drawing and change the blending mode to multiply. Select the Draw Here layer, go to your brushes, and pick the Oil Wax Dense brush. Choose the light gray color, the first one in the palette. Set the brush size to around 27% and start painting the bunny. All parts except for the mug it's holding. Next, create a new layer, select a darker gray, and switch to the Oil Soft Dry brush. Set the brush size to about 30% and add shadows where the eyes, nose, and ears will be. Then reduce the brush size to 8% and draw shadows under the bunny's paws holding the mug. Now go back to the Layers panel and merge the bunny layers together by selecting Merge Down. This way, the bunny will be on a single layer, which is helpful as we add texture. To add texture, create a new layer, change its blending mode to multiply, and select the sketch brush. Using the same gray as the shadows, set the brush size to 10% and draw random lines across the bunny. Then clip this layer to the bunny layer by selecting Clipping Mask. This keeps the lines within the bunny's shape. Adjust the opacity to about 28% so the texture isn't too dark, and merge the layers. Now add a new layer and pick a light pink color with the Oil Soft Dry brush. Paint blush on the bunny's cheeks and the inner parts of its ears. For the eyes, switch to the Oil Wax Detail brush, change the color to white, and set the brush size to 34%. Draw the eyes. Then take a dark gray with the sketch brush. Set the brush size to 41% and draw the pupils, nose, and a little smile. Finally, use white again to add highlights to the pupils and nose to make the illustration more lively. Add some light red texture to the blush for extra detail. Let's move on to the mug. Create a new layer and switch to the oil wax dense brush with a light red color. Set the brush size to 11% and paint the mug. Then pick a yellow color and paint the T inside. Use a dark red to add shadows inside the mug and under the bunny's paws. If there's a gap between the mug and the bunny, select the bunny layer, go to Adjustments, choose Liquify, and use the Push tool, size 22%, to nudge the gray edge closer to the red. Now for the blanket. Create a new layer and select the light gray color, second in the palette. Use the oil wax dense brush with a size of 38% to paint the blanket. To add shadows, create a new layer above the blanket, set it to clipping mask, and choose a slightly darker gray. With the Oil Soft Dry brush, size 37%, paint shadows under the bunny, its ears, and in the folds of the blanket. Then merge the blanket layers. Add details to the blanket by creating a new layer. Use the Oil Soft Detail brush with white, brush size 53%, to draw dots on the blanket. Turn off the sketch layer and with the same brush, use the gray shadow color to add shadows between the two halves of the blanket. For texture, create a new layer above the blanket. Use the sketch brush with white and add texture lines similar to those on the bunny. Lower the opacity to 32%. Then create another layer, use a darker color, and draw similar lines. Change the blending mode to multiply and reduce the opacity to 23%. Let's add a tree to the mug. Create a new layer, select a dark gray, and use the Oil Wax Detail brush, size 27%, to draw a small tree on the mug. Next, create another layer and draw small trees randomly across the blanket using the same brush and a brush size of 10%. Lower the layer opacity to 50%. For the steam rising from the tea, create a new layer and use the oil soft dry brush with white to draw the steam. Go to Adjustments, choose Liquify, and select Twirl Right, size 49%. Rotate your pencil clockwise to swirl the steam. Adjust its size and position by selecting the Uniform option. And there you have it. Our winter bunny illustration is complete. Share your results with me on Instagram or in my Patreon community. See you in the next lesson.